Morris is playing with the tie on the cushion. Him and Stripe are up in that chair, and he's having a good old time this morning playing with the cushion tie. Hi Morris, I see you. Well, Tux, if you want some, you're gonna have to hop back up top. Something in the ferns? It's not a cat. Marty gives me a chuckle every morning going from bowl to bowl. Whichever one someone else is eating out of is the one she wants to eat out of, and then they switch again a few seconds later. Personal feeding time, Mom. Personal feeding time. Did you get my flowers watered at the street?
Your flower water, that's right.
You sure are looking sharp this morning.
Styling.
I like it. Even though it only buys me about 5 minutes carrying it up the hill and then having to move it back down, it still does help a little bit with spreading everybody out and making sure everybody gets some food. Don put 150 miles on his car yesterday, so he's got to blast them bugs off. Blast them bugs off. Right. Yesterday I forgot to stop at the end of the park, so I have over 4 miles on my watch, a couple extra hours.
Credit for all that.
I did I got extra credit. I was not happy Apple won't let you edit it like Android will.
Right.
It seems ridiculous you can't reduce the amount of your exercise. Yes, we can start walking.
Thank you. Remember, the sooner we start, the sooner it's over.
Oh, stop it, Mr. Fussy Pants. Y'all don't know in the background, but we do call him that from time to time.
Fussy Pants.
I think the boys started it. I usually know better than to use it, but you know, he's got a smile on his face. He's out in the sun with his girl. I think I could get away with it for once. Yeah. Good morning, Bunny. It wouldn't be a walk over here if we didn't get to see a bunny. You should be more afraid of me though and go hide. You'd be safer. It's another gorgeous day in the neighborhood. Beautiful sunshine. Just a hint of cool, not as much cool as yesterday, but it's not oppressive.
Right.
It's not one of those, oh my God, it's an August morning oppressive thing. It's reasonable. It's in the upper 70s. On our way to the 80s somewhere today. It's nice out here.
Yeah, the humidity's up a little bit, but it's not cycling yet.
Yeah, I was really surprised when I stepped my first foot out the door this morning to feed the kitties and do the daily weather check, and I felt a hint of cool. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, well, the emphasis on the minorest, smallest hint. Any less and it would have been none.
Oh, funny. Hey, Donnie.
Hey. I got my green and blue on today.
Yep, you match very nicely. It looks good. I got that for you for Christmas, some odd number of years ago.
Right. This has been a while.
If it were up to Don, he'd have one pair of running shorts and one running shirt. He'd just wash them, or you know, wear them a couple days just while he's running, no problem.
It's just sweat.
It's just the stuff, you know, when you have a wife, you have to deal with, right?
Yeah, that's right. And trust me, 30 years as a single guy, I had no trouble with once a week laundry. If I needed it or not.
I just go round up his stuff now. You know, he never left on those running clothes when he was done running. But, you know, they dried out ready to go for the next day.
That's right.
That's guy stuff. No problem there. Next time, 1 more second's worth of thought and don't block the wheelchair ramp. And I mean, I'm just sure he just didn't think about it. I'm sure it wasn't to be mean. I'm sure it was oversight. But next time, don't do that. That's just not needed. There's people using this. There are people on the track that are mobility impaired. Don't make it harder for them. And to be clear, there are hundreds of other available options for parking. And since you're on a powered mower, once you start it anyway, what do you care if you got to roll another 20 or 30 feet? Like I said, I'm sure it just didn't occur to him. I don't believe for a minute he would have done that to be spiteful or mean. He just doesn't realize. It's kind of like some of those people that park at the superchargers don't know. Some of them know, and they're doing it on purpose. But there are other people that they're just not informed.
They're oblivious.
Yep, they just don't know. They're not clued in.
Look at these primo parking places.
The fire department's over here. It looks like they have a couple of young adults that are probably not actual firemen yet, and it looks like they're going to practice maneuvering the truck over here in the South Park parking lot. We often see them practicing the hoses, wrapping them up, airing them out, how to direct them out over the ball field. Like one day when the ball field needs to be watered, they come over and they have a practice and they water the ball field. It's really pretty when they do that, the water, rainbow water. Don says if I get any perkier, he's not going to know what to do with me.
She's like a puppy.
That wants to play with an older dog, is what he said.
Yeah.
I thought that was a funny analogy for Don, since he's not really a dog person.
Not a dog person.
I'm feeling pretty perky, maybe annoyingly so first thing in the morning. Don and I take melatonin at night, and more than the average person that takes like 3 milligrams, we take like 40. And I didn't take it last night, and I'm feeling a little clearer today. We're gonna try a little experiment. Don's the one with the sleep stuff.
Right.
Not me.
Yeah.
But I sure sleep good after I take 4 of those puppies.
That's right.
If you've never tried a melatonin for sleep, if you're having trouble, that would probably be worth talking to your doctor about trying. You got a pole behind you.
Yeah, I knew it was
Anyway, we're like almost done. We're almost to the parking lot.
coming. Here.
Yahoo bottle. Somebody got to enjoy a Yahoo. Not us.
Not me. I've had a Yahoo and
A long time.
yeah. I did drink them when I was a little kid.
Back in the day, I had an orange soda or 2, but root beer was my favorite thing. All right, so what are your stats?
45:22, 2.24 miles at 23.5 mile rate.
Pace, okay. Yeah, mine tells me heart rate because it's on my wrist. His tells him how our pace is per mile. So I am at 46:23, 2 miles, and right now 133 beats per minute, although it flashed 152 from coming up the hill. So I have lost 8 pounds since we started walking. And my blood pressure, both the upper and the lower number, are down. It was not high, but it is now down from borderline high to totally reasonable. Like the last time they took it, it was 126/75. And what have we done different? Well, I've walked 2 miles a day out in the sunshine in the morning, like, you know, outdoor exercise activity. I have stopped having 1 or 2 alcoholic beverages 2 or 3 nights a week. No more hard apple ciders at all. And I stopped making ice cream on Sundays. But other than that, that's really the only change I've made. And actually for me, I've started eating a little bit of something between 12 and 2 p.m. So I'm still intermittent fasting, like on a 16-8 schedule, but I'm not as OMAD as Dawn is still doing 1 meal a day. 2-hour feeding window is about what happens, because that's as fast as I can feed. He can get in enough food, I can get supper on in front of him, la la la. So, but Dawn and I are still mostly eating meat, not worrying about fat, not focusing on calories at all. And what was I gonna say? We have added back in a little bit of green vegetable, something low carb, something that puts us more toward ketovore than total carnivore.
She's added them back.
Right, if I feed Don a vegetable, he gets mad at me.
I don't get mad, I just eat it.
He fusses. Oh, broccoli. It's like having another kid in the house.
Yeah.
It's actually not that bad, but yeah, Don doesn't care if I ever feed him a vegetable again. His entire life would be fine with him, would be okay. Anyway, that's what we've done. This Keurig Duo that we bought, it's been a little over a year. It's really working out good for us when we're on our exercise routine, because I make a single serve pod. He makes a single serve pod he likes, then he comes back and makes a whole carafe. You know, we'd prefer not to use any more pods than we have to, both for the environment and for the pocketbook. The brand I get from Target, the Archer, is it Archer Farms? I'm trying to get a pod out. Yeah, Archer Farms Organic Espresso Blend Dark Roast Coffee. That's mostly what we've been having in the morning. They put that on sale often, and it's a good deal. And I think that's all we have left, so I better go get some more. Don's blasting Ruby off. Both cars had been over 2 weeks and some in the rain, so. Hey, Donnie. Yay, clean.
Well, cleaner.
Yeah, it's not a full detail. Much better. I don't have kitty prints all across the back window.
You won't have kitty prints.
Here comes that boy headed to the beach for a week.
Beach boy.
Woo! If I had to say, they're adding another section to the top of that cell tower. You know, sometimes we don't have great cell service in Fuquay, and that tower is not too far from the house, so anything they might want to do to improve it sounds good to me. So we're basically on the same run we would make if we were headed to the school. Johnny's friend doesn't live too far from the school, and there's a dump truck and a Jeep that were not behaving nicely on the road up ahead. So I'm just kind of tucked in here behind the truck, staying out of whatever that mess was up there. Johnny said it was like a road rage thing happening, and I am 15 minutes ahead of our needed arrival time, so I have no reason to rush. Johnny's dropped off. Him and his friends are loading up, and I am carefully backing out. I don't know if Ruby is going to bring me to a traffic light or not. I've got to get back out on Capitol Boulevard here, and you know, I want to make a left turn. Maybe it's a right turn, but I never want her to bring me to a 4-lane divided highway and expect me to make a left without a stoplight. That's just my personal thing. If it comes to that, I'll make a right, pull into some place, and then get turned around, because I'm just not going to do that. And I don't know that it always cares, but it is a stoplight, so we're good. I was just looking. As you can see, I'm going to go past the Raleigh supercharger at North Hills. I started out with my 80% charge this morning, and I still have 180 miles of range, so I absolutely don't need to stop at the supercharger, but if I did need it, it's here. I'm just trying to show you, you know, at a lot of the more, you know, major cities, there's a supercharger or two around that town, and normally you would not need to use them. You really wouldn't, right? You do your charging overnight at home, but in a backup, if you really did find yourself with a need, they are there. So looks like 9 available stalls, so at this time in the morning it's not very busy. I just want to say that I really don't care if Tesla ever gives us 360, like the overhead view of the car. I just don't. I can see so good in that rear view mirror exactly where the wheel is next to the curb, so I don't get curb rash. When I'm backing in, I realize you can't see it as good as I can see it. You can maybe see here. You can tell exactly where my wheel is. The only thing I want is a camera on the front near the T, maybe to show up here in the middle, with the option, obviously, be nice if either one of these you could get to be the big one by tapping on it like you can with the dash cam viewer. But I just want a camera that points down at the front of the car so I can see what's going on in the front. But the overhead view or whatever, I don't care. I mean, and the only reason I want that is for the cats, so I can see if there's something in the front. I guess maybe I might pull into spaces more than back in if you know, if I had that front camera and I could see a little bit where the front corner of the car is. But right now I can't see over that good. You know, you see there's like, I gotta really lift the camera up high, it's touching the glass, and I can still barely see the red. So for me to pull in and know where this wheel is over here, or this wheel is over here, I especially this one though, I can't see that. So that's why I'm always backing in, but it's so easy to back in. But just give me a camera in the front right here, a little view, so I can see my kitties. I left Ruby with climate on at 78 and in the shade, which just really is in the shade pretty good. I'm mostly here at Whole Foods because I'm gonna pick up some seafood for me and Dawn for dinner tonight, some fresh stuff. I got little neck clams, the smaller scallops that are on sale, and the shell-on blue shrimp, which I'll make a cream garlic sauce for. The little mouse is so cute. Hedgehog too. Well, I know Ruby knows I'm here because the light's lit back here. You gonna do it in the first try this time? Nope, summon failed. Door opened. Let's shut the door. I'm too close here at the back to load conveniently, and I'm always worried about fire ants in the summer. You gonna do it the second time for me, Ruby? I do need for summon to start working first time every time. Now I can get into my car. Branches are clear too. There's a lane closure coming out of Whole Foods, and these people headed north on Kildare Farm Road are stuck waiting. I'm sure that's a 10 or 15 minute wait. I am very glad that I didn't come up Kildare Farm Road to get the Whole Foods today. Very glad. Tomorrow I'm headed back to the chiropractor in Apex, and I plan to check out Guardian Angel Apex. She alerted because she felt I was coming up too quick on the car that made the right turn. Remember, I have early collision detection turned on versus, you know, normal. So I get a few extra alerts maybe that other people don't, but I like lots of time to make decisions, so it works for me. After the first couple of times it scares you to death, you kind of get used to it and you're able to use it as a decision-making tool versus a panic tool. But I admit the first couple times it goes off like that is something that you have to deal with, how that makes you feel. For me, it just gives me time to look up and decide, do I need to take evasive action? Look at that sky again. Woo, it's pretty out there. And still only 84 too, so actually, now that I'm on the move, Ruby says 88, but anyway, it is warming up this week and drying up a little bit, although I saw a severe chance for severe weather alert pop up on my phone this morning, so I need to go out and figure out what that is for. I just sort of assumed, well, A, I got to take Johnny where he's going this morning, no matter what the weather. 2, it looked totally nice when we left. 3, we don't normally have bad weather in the morning. And 4, I guess it just kind of seems like we get all these alerts about bad weather, and I appreciate them trying to help me, but they so often don't pan out to be more than a sprinkle. I really need to know when I really need to know, and not all these other times I might sort of need to know. It's just almost too much now. So Ruby did hit 80K this morning. She's at 80,021.6 miles. She was at 79 something last night when I checked on the phone app, so I sort of wanted to clock her hitting the 80K, but I forgot. And it's not 100K. We'll try to clock it at 100K, right? If I get back to driving on the road with Johnny this fall, 100K is in my near future. We would be there already if it wasn't for COVID. I neither see that as a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just, you know, it is what it is. We did less traveling in 2020 and the first part of 2021 because of COVID, and that's just the way it is. Yeah, I guess I neither, boy, that postal truck came up to that stop sign really quick there. I neither long for pre-COVID nor, getting things back to normal, nor do I long to, do away with some of the positive things that have come about during COVID. It's, just trying to take each day and make the most of it, and not maybe all of the comparisons, better, worse, stuff like that, are just not necessary, not worth it. I do say they got the metal thing out over the road here, so that's good. I don't like having to go across that big piece of metal every time. there, I've looked carefully because there's quite a crest to the left you can't really see very well, and then made a turn on red. There was no one coming. At any point, you know, I think people often look back to the good old days. Well, maybe they weren't as good as we thought, or I don't know. Life is an evolving forward journey, not something I think to look back on yesterday and how it was, but where are we going and how do we want to get there is a more productive way to look at it. So life shifted, we shifted with it, we'll continue to shift. It's ever shifting, and you know, just make each day the best you can. At least that's what I'm trying to do. I'm driving through South Park to spin Pokestops. My ID Photomom 1 needs Pokeballs. And I'm just noticing that it's nice and crowded over here, and there are a lot of people at the splash pad enjoying themselves. That's really great to see after a year of silence over here, lack of movement, all that good stuff. It is open and there's lots of people having a ton of fun, the little kids. It's great. Fantastic. So as I pulled up to the driveway, I saw a couple of crows, blackbird, raven, I don't know which, big blackbirds over here, and I wondered what was going on, and see how it's kind of dug up. Don and I always assumed it was the deer. It always fixes itself. This spot's just gonna have, you know, moss. But anyway, I now no longer think it's the deer. I think it's the blackbirds. It's too early for mail, but I thought I'd check anyway. Plus I really wanted to see what the birds had been up to. Of course they flew when I pulled in the driveway, but I think Don twisted my flower around on the nail so it would start to grow back toward the sun. Not a bad idea. I de-spidered, de-leafed. You know, I did a vacuum cleanup. It's a little disheartening for me after I worked so hard last year on the floor for it to basically need to be done again, but it is what it is, and it has been a year. I'm gonna pull Ruby in now. I don't know if I'll be back out today or not, but let's go ahead and plug her in. Yeah, every once in a while now I'm still having trouble with the door again. It had totally stopped doing that, and as long as it opens when I push on it gently, I'm good. If I had to get back in the car or pull out the app or do something else, I'd be irritated. I got the driveway and the cul-de-sac blown. Marty didn't run off too far. I don't know where anybody else is. I even did the front porch with the blower. I am hot. I am sweating. It's a good thing I still got my exercise clothes on. Don says we're going to the landfill after work. I'd give that an 85% chance of happening. Depends if it rains, how tired he is, how late he gets off. But I would like to get that out of the way today. Today would be a good day to do it. So I am at my 10,000 steps for this. Cleaned 3 of my fountains. The one obviously on that plug. Let's see how they come back online. Sometimes I hit the thing. That one's not plugged in yet. This one's looking pretty good. Sometimes I hit the adjustment for how fast and then I have to fix it. There is a fine line between enough, too much, and not enough. Marty kept me company the whole time I was working on the fountains. Tux was here for a few minutes, but it was too hot near the back, and he had a couple mouthfuls of dry chow and went someplace cool. You can see this guy's back running nicely. I probably should push the hose in about half a centimeter. You don't want the wind to carry the water off if it gets gusty. That's probably pretty good. They're all running again, all 4 of them. It's worse than cleaning an inside fish tank. About every 3 or 4 weeks, or whenever you see them, slow down before you hurt your fountain pump. Too much work to take the fountain pumps off out there. It's too much work to bring the fountain pumps inside, so the grill that was clogged up, I used a toothbrush and then poured some water on it out of a half-gallon milk jug. And then these are the other tools of the trade inside the hose. Help get the hoses back through holes in the ceramic, clean off gunk. And I'm just going to put these in the top rack of the dishwasher and clean them for next time. Don and I questioned maybe just a little bit how beneficial this thing would be. And I don't know that we use it the right way. We don't put silverware in it. But any of this kind of stuff you want washed works great. The trash is all loaded up, but we figured we'd do things in the right order this time and clean off the dust before we drive it to the landfill instead of cleaning it after we get home with it, and then it'll sit for 2 more weeks. So, yeah. Don's in a power washing kind of a mood today. He's off work at 5 o'clock, so he has time to do all these wonderful extra chores. I'm so sorry. Poor guy. I'm out here to help though, so you have microfiber in hand. Because, you know, blasting it's good, but it's better if somebody rubs it, you know, just does a little once over and then you re-rinse. Obviously, that always works better. Touchless is never quite as good as hands-on. At least the right kind of hands-on. All right, that went pretty quick. I'm approved with the washing of the GMC in the van. I'm just not Ruby and Jules approved. That's supposed to be a little funny. True, but funny. Hey, Tux. Hey, buddy. How's my bud? How's my bud? Hi. Hi. Wow, look at that clean windshield.
No cat prints.
No dust, no nothing. We're here. The container site in Willow Spring. Don's got some scrap metal, so he's thinking he'll go dump that and then circle around instead of waiting. It's sort of full right this minute. Okay, muscle man. Headed to that recycling bin again. It's impressive.
You know what this is, don't you?
Marble.
That's right. You want to put there.
No. Why?
You can tell if they're giving you Indian wooden nickels.
I want somebody to restore it.
Sure.
Now, you know anybody?
No, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, but here anybody can do it. Oh, that's solid brass. I think with
Oh yeah. Oh, it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm jealous.
An old car, and they gave me $18 for like 4 pounds of brass.
Up at that recycle place in Garner.
So that thing, they probably put $100 in brass there.
Yeah, but it's worth a lot more than that. The only place we know restorations out in Arizona, that one guy that does that restored stuff, and he charges a good price for what he restores too. Wait a minute, I didn't bargain for coming for no gasoline while we were out.
Yeah, well, somebody's got to put gas in their tank.
It's $2.81 a gallon if you wondered, and Don's got gas on his hands. Yuck, nasty.
Well, I poured the 5.
I'm just teasing you. Us not gas people, it happens. He poured the 5-gallon can into the GMC and then refilled the 5-gallon can.
Right.
We have to do that every 3 or 4 months, even with stabilizer in it, to make sure we've got a little bit of gas for the generator if we need it.
Right. Well, that's the key thing. If we don't go through this rigmarole with the can of gas, the 5-gallon thing of gas, then we're going to have a power failure, and we won't have any gas, and we won't be able to run the generator. This is the classic case.
It's an insurance policy.
It's insurance. So as long as we keep gas, and I get gas on my hands every few months, then the generator says, well, we don't have to give you, he's had his own grief, so we don't have to add any additional grief. We don't have to make him look like a hero because he's all prepared. We wouldn't want that.